Hello, Derek Bergener here. It is December 13th, 2017, and I'm going to talk about using dollar volume in scans in TC2000 and why is it important. Why use dollar volume instead of just volume? Dollar volume is more useful for screening, yes, I'm reading, because it removes price from the situation. To assure liquidity, the volume required on a $1 stock is far greater than on a $50 stock. So when we're scanning for patterns. We're not like scanning for price. You use price and dollar volume to filter later to make sure that you only get the most liquid stocks in your scans. So proper use of dollar volume assures enough liquidity regardless of what the price is. We scan for patterns, then filter by dollar volume, not volume. Eliminate stocks with low dollar volume, i.e. low liquidity. So dollar volume is very simple. It's the average price for a given time period. See, that's a key concept. Times the volume traded in that time period. So the time period could be daily, 5-minute, or 1-minute. That's usually, we're not, I mean, you could do 15-minute or whatever suits you, but I use daily for nightly scans and 5-minute and 1-minute for intraday. Which brings up another thing I meant to mention. You really need to have two different kinds of scans. You need to have scans for nightly, because you're looking for patterns on the daily chart, and therefore you'll be using dollar volume based on daily. And then intraday, you're going to be trying to find patterns during the day, so you need to be using dollar volume filter based on either a 5-minute or a 1-minute. So dollar volume is simply the price times the volume equals dollar volume. And an example of daily is a $63 stock traded 1.3 million shares on the day. That was TCO today. So 63. And for you math guys, here's the units. So you can check the units go properly here, right? So a $63 stock means it's $63 per share. And it traded 1.3 million. So that's 1.3 million shares per day. And see, your shares are going to cancel and you're going to be left with dollars per day, right? See here, dollars per day. So you had $81,900,000 traded on TCO today. So by comparison, like VRX today right here, traded over $1 billion. So going back to our example, now remember what I said up here. Dollar volume is based on a given time period, right? For a given time period. So we have a 5-minute example. So $63 stock traded 18.7 thousand shares in a 5-minute candle. Let's look at TCO today. Just pick. I'm on the 5-minute chart here. We pick some, some candle here that not too crazy. Like there's one 10.8, 10,800. This one right here, happened to be 10,800 again. 20,500, right? That's the volume traded in a 5-minute candle. So going back here, I had picked a typical 5-minute candle. Earlier, 18.7 thousand shares traded in 5 minutes. So 63 times 18,700 was $1.7 million traded in that 5 minutes. Then a 1-minute example for the same $63 stock. You change yourself to the 1-minute chart here. And let's go earlier in the day. We pick a typical 1 minute. What do we have? 7.8K. The example I picked earlier to do this calculation was a 4,000 share candle, right? during the 1 minute. So $63 times 4,000 shares is $252,000 traded in that 1 minute. So what does that mean for our dollar volume? So this is a dollar volume calculator that dollar volume is like a constant thing. For a given day, you need at least a certain amount of dollar volume for the day. You need a certain 5-minute dollar volume and a certain 1-minute dollar volume to assure enough liquidity. So if we do some examples here, to like home in on, what is that number that we're looking for. So I did this little spreadsheet here. So if we assume a $20 million volume, target daily dollar volume, and that's what I've been using lately. Well, I fluctuate between 10 million and 20 million. I don't know. I'm homing in. So for there's not how you calculate this. There's 6.5 trading hours per day, right? And that means there's 78 5-minute candles in the day, and there's 390 1-minute candles in the day. So for a given price of a stock, let's say $1, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, $150, right? So let's say that our target dollar volume for the day is $20 million. That means we need to have 20 million shares trade on our $1 stock, right? And if we have a target $20 million volume for a $5 stock, we have to have 4 million shares. 20 million target dollar for a $10 stock, we need 2 million shares, right? And then that translates into, you break it down into the 78 5-minute candles during the day, so you divide that by 78, and you get a dollar volume on a 1 minute or a $1 stock. You need $256,000 to trade in that 1 minute. Oh, I got. But notice it's the same. It's the same number. See, for each 5-minute for each 5-minute period, you need 256,000 shares for a $1 stock. You need 51,000 shares for a $5 stock. 25,000 for a 10. You get the idea. I'm probably being like totally redundant here, but the concept is the target dollar volume. See how this is constant. You're looking for roughly 250,000 shares to be traded in a 5-minute candle. So let's look at TCO today, which was 1.3 million shares on the day. This is like a not really a hot high volume stock, right? Not like VRX. So if we look at a 5-minute candle here, oh wait, no. See, you can't tell dollar volume from the chart. You have to calculate it. So $250,000 in a 5-minute candle, or $50,000 in a 1-minute candle. So if we do an example of TCO today, it traded, its volume was 1.3 million shares, and it's roughly a $63 stock. So its dollar volume today was 81 million shares, 81.9 million. On a 5-minute candle, it had 16,000 shares average throughout the day, and a 5-minute dollar volume of 1 million. See, that's way above like our minimum threshold of 250,000. And on a 1-minute candle, we need 3,000 shares and 210,000. That was way above our $50,000 dollar volume minimum target. So how do we use this in a scan, right? So if I'm looking for, let's say I pull out here gainers since the open, I'm going to undock that. And right now, this scan is using a filter of dollar volume of 10 million shares on the day. But so this is why this this video has been good for me to review this. That's a terrible thing to be using if I'm using this for an intraday scan, right? I'm looking for gainers since the open. This is an intraday scan. So I need to change this up completely. So instead of looking at dollar volume on the daily, I need to change this to say dollar volume on the 5-minute. And remember, what we're looking for is to assure we have 20 million dollar volume on the day, right? We need a target, a 5-minute dollar volume target of 250,000. So I need to change this to 250,000, right? Is that right? Yeah, on the 5-minute. Dollar volume greater than 250,000 right now on the 5-minute. And now I've changed that. So my filtering, I've got price between $5 and $200 and then up since the open is true. This is very simple. The current price is greater than the open. That means it's up since the open, right? Now this is way after market, right? So if we close this and rerun the scan, we see that at the close today, there was 1,564 stocks that were up for the day, out of however many is in my list. And you see here the 5-day average dollar. And I need to add some columns here. I need to change this. This is the 5-day average dollar volume. That doesn't do me any good for an intraday scan. See, this is why I haven't been having really good results. I get too many results. The problem is you get too many results, and I need to eliminate, like fine-tune it to what I want to see that is having really good volume right now. And I need to, the way you do that is you do a basic scan, you filter it, and then you sort by an appropriate column in TC2000. So I don't know, I may redo this video, but at least it's a good introduction to what dollar volume is. But now we got to go to the next step, is how do you properly use dollar volume to sort, and get the best kind of results in the scans. So I'm going to just stop it right there and regroup for part 2.